Hello. So, imposter syndrome is a sneaky biche. All right. She likes to come and join the party when you've started something new and you're really confident, you're really motivated, and you're like, yeah, let's go. And then she whispers a little bit of doubt, right? And if you don't stop her soon enough, she will overtake your mind with all of her constant nagging and her noise. All right. Lately, she has joined my party because I just don't feel as confident with my messaging on social media and in this online space, okay? I don't. I have been communicating face to face for years. I can sell anyone anything. I mean, I sell colonoscopies for Christ's sake, okay? I can sell anything. I can't sit on social media. I become a blubbering idiot. I can't. I can't stream together a sentence, all right? But today, I'm going to show you and share with you the process that I use that helps me really kick imposter syndrome where it hurts. And I have one key for you. All right, so stay tuned. If you're new here, my name is Kate Avery. I am a nurse of 10 years. I'm a mother of 3. You might hear cars in the background. Okay, I'm an MP student. I'm a wife, and I'm a business coach. And I help other healthcare professionals like yourselves really pivot into the online space with digital products. I created this podcast because I wanted everyone to feel motivated and I wanted you to feel excited and have the tools to be able to make this pivot. I created this podcast because I wanted to inspire and to motivate you to make change in your own life. I wanted you to go after your dreams and I wanted you to have the tools and the resources to do that. Every week, every Friday, I post my podcast and I have been posting recently on YouTube. You can find this podcast over on Apple and on Spotify, and come hang out with me on Instagram. Come watch me make a fool of myself. All right. It's at InspireRM. So this week we are going to get into the process that I've used and the aha moment. And I'm going to talk about when and how I got the aha moment. This sounds very, very strange, but it is a weirdo trick that I use and have been using, and it really is giving me the biggest breakthroughs that I think I've ever had. You know I love journaling, so this is like an outside of your head journaling. But what I've been doing is talking to myself in my car. Okay, so usually when I do it is on my drive home from the gym. I also will do it like on my way to work. Maybe I'll start listening to a podcast and it gets like the gears moving, and then I just start like spilling things out. In today's day and age, it doesn't look as weird because you could just think that I am talking to someone on my phone, but in fact I'm not. I am talking to myself, but I don't care because the benefits have been outweighing the risks for me. And the other day, I was actually chatting to myself about a block that I keep holding on to. And that block is that because I haven't lived up to these like outrageous numbers and I haven't made the income that I want to make with my digital products, I then in turn feel like I have no value to give to any of you. And so that's just not true at all. And I'm going to share with you why that's not true. But one of my biggest hangups, like I said, is that I'm not the entrepreneur who made, $1 million in her first year. I haven't been able to gain 100,000 followers in 30 days. Like, this journey has been nothing short of a struggle for me, but it's been extremely, extremely eye-opening. And I have grown substantially since I started this journey about a year and a half ago. So I may not have the abundance of wealth yet, but I do have the abundance of knowledge. And that realistically is going to make my journey a lot easier farther down the road than if I would have had this quick and easy success. So I was working through this idea of why do I feel this way? And it really dawned on me that those women who make $1 million in their first year, that's a really, really, really small percentage of entrepreneurs who are out there. Yet, Miss Imposter Syndrome would tell me that I'm definitely not doing something right, which could be true. right? We have to look at that. Or that you're not cut out to be in this online space. This is not for you. Even though everything is telling you that, it's not for you because you couldn't make $1 million in a year, right? So I want you to realize that just because you didn't hit your goal does not mean you did not grow. So, no, I have not made as much money in my business as I would like to, but I have learned so much from this fact. I would also like to kind of point out that you could maybe say that because of the lack of the funds as a driving factor, it's kept me hungry and it's kept me wanting more. I cannot honestly say if I would have had quick and easy success, if I would have continued to pursue the education level that I have in this online space. But we'll never know because that was not my path. So let's just stick to our path, stick to our own business, right? What I did get out of this journey so far is that this process of imposter syndrome is basically just you looking her in the face and saying, F off. You're refusing to be the victim, and you have to consistently be refocusing and knowing that your dream has been given to you for a reason and that you're going to get there, right? Not all days are going to be good. Some are very far from good, but I have been focusing really on my mindset work in order to continue this journey. But I want to share this process that I have found has been working when I'm fighting this imposter syndrome. And I will say that imposter syndrome is constant. Okay. I have heard and researched this a lot. It does not ever go away. No matter what level you are at, you will always rub elbows with her. But the key is to not succumb to her nagging. That is the key. And the best way that I have found to fight imposter syndrome is to overcome the noise with your own resilience. So what's resilience? Resilience is the ability to withstand or to overcome difficulties. My process when imposter syndrome shows up to the party, just to embarrass me and make me feel extremely little about this big, usually leads off with me, drowning myself in self-doubt, maybe a little bit of crying, but I always pick myself up and I'll sit there for a while and I have to evaluate and I have to think, what is not adding up for me? Where am I missing the mark? Or what is my weakness at this time, right? Why am I feeling like an imposter? What's coming up? This is my overall process in one sentence. This is what I do. I identify the weakness. I educate myself on that skill that I need to fill that weakness link. I implement that skill and then I reassess. And this last little bit is the worst for those of us who need that instant gratification. Okay, that is me. Sometimes I blame it on my ADHD, but it could just be that I like that instant win. But you have to give yourself time in the online space. All right? Nothing happens overnight, even though they may tell you it does. Nothing happens overnight. It takes lots of unseen work in order to get those huge ahas. All right? So let's look at my example of the lack of sales. My first roadblock was definitely that I had an offer that I wasn't really confident in. Okay, so I had to tackle that obstacle first. And what I did is I joined a membership, the Greenhouse. I reviewed courses that I had bought previously. So I reviewed my DCA and kind of started from square one there. And then I just went back to like any freebie, any other product that I had bought that was going to help me kind of build those initial stepping stones that you needed to step on that I wanted to skip over, right? And I had to figure out an offer that made me feel super confident and also helped me realize the service and the value that I offer you. And that was the biggest thing. So with all of that, I got really clear on who I was serving, who you were, what your problems were, and how my knowledge could solve your problems. I have but I was going to say billions, but I definitely don't have billions of courses. I don't have that kind of time. But I have a ton of courses, a ton of digital products that have led me to this space. All right. So when I feel really lit up and I feel passionate about something, it helps me refuel my batteries. And I was very, very confused, and it was very noisy up there. And I had to give myself permission to trust the process and go back to step one and start all over again, in order for me to really feel that passion again when it came to my offer. My second roadblock that I had to do, which I'm still dealing with, is learning how to get in front of you. I have been binging anything I can get my hands on, to understand social media a little bit more. I would say that my messaging and my social media is the biggest weakness that I have right now. I do not understand the algorithm. I do not understand how to string a sentence together that, catches your eye, that makes you feel connected with me. Even though face to face, I'm sure we would do just fine. Again, I can't. I'm like illiterate when it comes to social media. So here is where my resilience muscle flexes, though. I've been at this game a long time, like I said. I know when I speak to you face to face, I am confident and I can sell products. I love to communicate and I love to make connections with other people. But when I get on social media, I can't. I do not know where the disconnect comes from. A lot of it, I think it comes from me having like a professional persona, and I feel like that's what is needed. But professionalism doesn't get you connection. Really, it doesn't. And so that I'm learning that vulnerability key that comes along with social media. And yes, I do have a fear of being seen. I do have a fear that no one is going to like me. And honestly, this is what I think will really happen, is someone's going to stand up and start screaming at me and say that you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. When in fact, that is a lie, because I have lots and lots of education in the areas of online business. But anxiety, she doesn't care if your fear is real or not. So the next step, let's move on. The next step of this process is to understand my own messaging and to understand what you need from me and to figure out the algorithm, honestly. All right. So like I said, I've been consuming a lot of education, and I like to do this in several different ways. I like to read or listen. And so I'm truly in love with Colleen Nichols. I think she's the funniest person I've ever fucking met. I feel like we could be friends in real life. Our personalities would really mesh. But she has this book called Don't Make It Weird. I've been listening to that. I've been going through the workbook. I also have purchased 2 courses. So I purchased Jenna Kutcher's Instagram Lab. I will tell you, I'm not completely done with it yet, but I feel like it's a little bit more of an overview of how to work Instagram, how to kind of post, what you should post about, things like that. Then I'm also going to be enrolling in the 0 to 10 or 100,000 with Christina Gandry. I think that's how you say her name. Her tag on social is Christina Social. I also love her. I don't know. I just feel a connection and a pull, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have been massively working on my membership and on my messaging and working on my reach, because if you don't have eyeballs, your offer can be God's grace, and no one's going to buy it because no one has seen it. Right? So these are the things that I'm working on. This is my resilience. I've identified the problems, and now I'm going gung-ho into learning anything and everything about that skill so I can really move forward in this business. But here's my lesson. You don't have to allow the imposter syndrome to stop you. You can also look at your progress in more than just a 2-dimensional view. So if you're feeling like you're struggling with pinning down an idea for your digital product, or even just starting the process, you're not alone. All right. This is why I created this business. This is why I created the free digital product cheat sheet. This is the process that I have used and I have learned from all of my education that will help you start your first digital product business. And I am always here. I'm just a few steps ahead of you. I'm plowing the sidewalks so that you don't have to get your shoes wet. All right, it's winter in Michigan. That's where that analogy came from. But I want you to download that cheat sheet. I want you to start working on the steps. I want you to move past. Tell imposter syndrome to move the F out the way, because we have places to go and we have things to do. We don't have time for that anymore. No. 2025, we're done. If this is a very side note, if you need a pick me up playlist, let me know. I will create one. I have Queen Herbie. If you've never heard of Queen Herbie, she swears a lot. I swore in this podcast today, but she's a good one. Go download the cheat sheet. All right. That's all you have to do. Download the cheat sheet. And also please go over to YouTube and subscribe. All right. Bye. Have a great day.